Every Little Thing Yoga here, and today I have a class for us called Finding Balance. So we're going to be trying some different balance poses, do a little bit of core work at the end, and it should be a lot of fun. Let's go give it a try. Alright, so this is one of our quicker series classes, so you don't need a lot of time to do it, but we're going to jump right in. So we're going to bring our feet together. You can also have feet wide if that's more comfortable to start, into a nice strong mountain pose. We want our head over our heart and our heart over our pelvis, or at least the feeling of that. It might not look quite like that, but pretend that there's sort of a line running up and down you, and that'll help you have the right posture. And then we're just going to put our arms at our side and breathe in and breathe out. Let's do one more grounding breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Nice job. Now, we're going to start to play with our mountain pose a little. So, let's lift one heel off the ground and just keep the toe down. And then we're going to do it on the other side. So, either heel's just fine. We're just going to switch legs. Do that a few times. This will warm up our ankles. This will warm up our feet, especially if it's either first thing in the morning or maybe it's later at night and we've been on them all day. Switch legs one more time. And then the other. And if you notice, if you want, you can kind of come up on both toes as you switch between the two. Great work. So now we've stretched out those muscles a little. What we're going to do is we're going to do a one-legged Tadasana. So you can even imagine like a string is just pulling up your leg. But we're going to breathe in, raise that leg, and then as we breathe out, we're going to bring it to the side. Now if you feel wobbly, you can always use a wall to support you. You can use a chair, a piece of furniture. You can also just bring your arm out kind of as a counterbalance. Good work. Now we're going to bring our leg back in, and we're going to clasp around our shin and bring it up towards our chest. Now it doesn't have to come very high. You can have your arms way far out, or you might be able to squeeze it way into your chest, whatever is comfortable. Some people also even like to try it out to the side and squeezing it up. And then we're going to lower that leg, shake it out. All right, let's try that on the other side. So again, imagine just kind of being lifted up gently. You want to ground through your right leg, ground through that foot so you feel nice and sturdy. And we also don't want to just dump into our hip. You want to kind of almost feel a lift out of your hip, which sounds kind of, it's more of a feeling than an actual look to it. But that way we're not dumping all our weight in the hip and putting ourselves off balance. Lift that leg up. Go ahead and bring it to the side. You can keep your hand there. You can take your hand off. You can put this hand out, put it on the wall for support, whatever you need. Bring it back to the front and then squeeze it into the chest, or modify and squeeze it up when it's on its side. All right, and then we're going to put our feet back down. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. We're going to come back to our mountain pose, but we're going to put weight into our heels. And we're going to also make sure that the front two corners of our feet are grounded. So that's the ball joint of your big toe and the joint of your pinky toe. And then lift your toes up. If you can see that in the video, I'm lifting all my toes up. All right. And now comes the Yogi Toga Challenge. We're going to try to put down each toe individually. So we'll practice this 2 or 3 times through so you can get the hang of it. So start at the pinky and put the pinky down, the ring finger toe, middle toe, second toe, and big toe. And then feel really grounding into the earth. Okay, should we try that again? Lift those toes up and practice again. We can try the other direction if you want. See which one you like more. Start with the big toe. I find this direction harder. Second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and pinky toe. This is sort of yoga for the mind as well. But it's great for stretching out the muscles of the feet and warming them up. Let's try that one last time. So bring those toes up and go pinky toe, fourth toe, third toe, second toe, and big toe. And feel your feet really ground into the earth. Great work. Now we're going to come up on our toes. We're going to do a little bit of a toe stand. You can start with just a little bit, or you can raise your heels up high, whatever feels comfortable. And we're going to go into drinking bird pose. So let's bring our hands to our hearts. And we're going to bend our knees, sort of like we're doing chair pose, but keep your heels lifted. I'll show you on the side. So heels up, bending knees, keeping the back straight, and then you can hinge at the hips and bend down. Good work. And some people call this diver pose too, sort of like you're gonna dive into the water. All right, and if you're able, raise those heels up even higher, do a balance. I'm gonna turn back to the front, you're doing great. And then we're gonna come down, so we're gonna squat, 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 squat. And you can either come into froggy legs or a toe stand, or you can go out into malasana. So it's up to you. You can be in malasana, a yogic squat, if that's comfortable with the heels on the ground. You can also roll your mat or blanket up under your heels for support. You can bring your legs a little closer together and the heels up and be sort of in a froggy position, or you can stay in a toe stand with your hands together. And remember, the ground is always there to catch you. You can always put your hands right down on the ground. We'll just take a few breaths here. And even though this balance is low to the ground, sometimes this can be just as challenging or trickier than when you're standing up and doing balances. All right, and then we're gonna push back up. And we did all that practice with our legs to the side. We're gonna do a little tree pose as well. So we're gonna breathe in, raise up our leg, ground your left leg into the ground, raise your right leg up, bring that right leg out to the side, and then for tree pose, you can put your toes on the ground and your heel on your calf, and that's sort of a kickstand pose that gives you the most stability. You can put your foot on your lower leg, or you can bring it all the way up and put it on your inner thigh, and you push back with your thigh where it's resting. You just don't want to put it on your knee because you could spill and it can injure your knee. And then we're going to bring our hands to our heart. And then we're going to take our hands into this mudra, if you can see it. You kind of make a flower or a lotus with your hands. And we're going to breathe in and raise them up. And breathe out and bring them back down. Let's do that once more. Breathe in, raise them up. Breathe out, bring those hands back down. And then we're gonna bring our foot back to the ground, and we're gonna do a little forward fold to release that. So we're gonna take our hands, bring them back to our heart center, and dive forward. And you can bend any amount. You hinge at your hips, and bend down towards the ground. Shake out your head, make sure your shoulders are loose. And then slowly roll back up to standing. Nice work. Let's try that on the other side. So if you didn't follow me, whichever side is the other side, go for it. But I'm going to ground through my right foot. Remember, I'm kind of lifting out of my hips, so I'm not dumping my weight into my hip. I'm letting my left leg come up. I'm bringing it out to the side. And I'm either going to choose kickstand posture, put it on my shin, my calf, or raise it to my inner thigh. And then I'm going to bring my hands together at my heart. Now, you're probably already feeling that both sides are quite different. For me, it's harder to balance often on my right leg than it is on my left leg. And that can vary day to day, or that can just be your general body disposition. And then we're going to take our hands, put them into that lotus mudra again. Mudra is just a hand position. We're going to breathe in and raise our hands up. Breathe out and bring them back down. Let's do that once more. Breathe in, raise our hands up. Breathe out, bring them back down. Great work. Then we're going to gently bring our leg out of the balancing posture. Hands to heart. Breathe in. And on the exhale, go ahead and forward fold again. Hinge at your hips. Bend down. Shake that head out, bring your hands towards the ground, make sure your shoulders are nice and loose, and then we'll slowly come back up. Nice job. So now we're going to do our very final balancing practice. We're going to come back up onto our toes. Our feet are super warmed up, so we're going to come on those toes, come as high as you can, reach those arms up to the sky, do a full body stretch. Bring your hands together, down to your heart, and we're going to squat back down. And this time we're all going to come into the toe stand together. Good work. And then we're going to come down to a seated position. Now some people can do this without using their hands at all, and they can just sit down and sit back. There's no shame in using your hands. I want to make sure everyone is safe. So go ahead and put a hand down, come down into a nice cross-legged seat. and we're gonna do boat pose together. So boat pose, if you're familiar with it, you can hop right into it, but still go there mindfully. Otherwise, we're gonna bring our legs in front of us, knees bent, and we wanna sit again, head over heart, heart over pelvis, and we're gonna breathe in, and as we breathe out, lift our legs up. Now, you can do boat pose, literally with your toes on the ground, lift your heels a little, and just lean back. You will already feel your core engage. So this posture is wonderful. You can also take it a little deeper and bring your legs up in the air. You can also go into full boat and bring your arms out, keep your back straight, and make a V with your body. So it's really up to what you're feeling today, what other activities you did, and what kind of challenge you want to provide your body today. So I'm going to go into half boat, put my arms out, and then I'm going to gently, with my breath, tap down my toes. Now, if you want to take it further, go to full boat and scissor the legs. That's great. Or if you just want to keep your legs planted or even lift and lower the heels, you can do any of these actions and they'll all give you a great stretch. But sometimes adding a little motion to our core work, both can make the core work a little more tolerable. If it's challenging, you're starting to feel yourself shake, which is great. That means those muscles are working. And it can also make it a little more fun, I think. All right, so then even out both sides. Come back to center. You can support yourself if you'd like with hands behind the thighs or putting the feet on the ground. And then we're all going to sit up a little taller, put our feet flat on the ground, and we're going to do a steeple grip. So point your fingers up, cross those thumbs over, and we're going to breathe in and raise our arms up. And as we breathe out, engage the core and see how slowly you can roll back. And go ahead and let your hands fall way overhead so you get a nice full body stretch and extend those legs. You can roll your wrists a little, roll your ankles a little. Good work. I'm going to scooch myself a little bit further on the mat just so you can see what I'm up to. And then we're going to make sure that after all that balancing work and all that strong leg work, we do a little stretching to get any tension out of those muscles that we might have built up. So we're going to breathe in, and we're going to take our right leg, cross it over our left so that our right ankle is pretty much over the left thigh. And then we're going to take our hands, thread the needle, so go through the hole between your legs on the outer side of your left hand leg, and grasp behind your thigh. And this is reclined pigeon. Some people call this figure fours, and it's a really, really great stretch. Now you can keep your hands behind your thigh. You can put your leg into the air. If you want to deepen the stretch a little, you can point and flex that toe. You can also grasp around the outer part of your shin and use your elbow to kind of push into your right leg, but only do this if you're very familiar with the stretch, very flexible with your hips and have open hips, because I don't want anyone straining and hurting themselves, and that's a very deep version of the stretch. So wherever you're at, you can also rock side to side a little. That can help alleviate any tension that you have built up in your back. Go ahead and on your next breath, bring both legs back to the ground. Good job. And we're just going to repeat that on the other side. So we're going to cross our left leg over our right thigh, thread the needle, and put our hands around our right thigh. And again, remember that both sides of the body can be different. So on this side, the stretch just like this might be more than enough. You might want to extend the stretch a little by putting your leg up into the air, point and flex the toe. Or you can also grab around the outer thigh. And again, I really like rocking back and forth. It just feels good on the back and good on all the muscles, gives a little deeper stretch. All right, then we're going to go ahead and put both legs or both feet flat on the ground. We're going to breathe in, and we're going to grab around our knees or behind our thighs or sort of on our shins. And you're just going to spread your legs wide and do a static wide leg hold to stretch out all those muscles that we used on the legs. If you want to, you can also go into Happy Baby if you're familiar with that, and grab the outer sides of the feet, rocking back and forth. But I really find sometimes a static hold is a great way to just work into the stretch and let the muscles kind of release. We'll take a few breaths here. And then, if you have the time, go ahead and stretch out those legs. Put your arms at your side and take a break, resting in Shavasana. Otherwise, if you need to get on with the rest of your day, we're going to roll over to one side in the little fetal position, pillow our head on our hands. On our next breath, we'll push up to sitting, and you're all set. Thanks so much for practicing with me today. Have a great day.